The air was thick with fog as I climbed the steps to 221B Baker Street. London's breath swirled around me. I rang the bell, eager for the warmth of the hearth and the company of my friend. Sherlock Holmes awaited. Mrs. Hudson, ever a comforting presence, ushered me inside.
"He's been at it all day, Doctor, pacing, fiddling with that violin of his, barely a word."
I smiled, knowing the signs of a case gripping Holmes's mind. The telegram on the mantelpiece confirmed it. It was from Elena Trevelyan, a renowned violinist.
"Indeed, Watson, a melody with a rather expensive silence in its midst. Miss Trevelyan's Stradivarius has gone missing."
The game, as they say, was afoot. The fog outside seemed to press closer, a silent witness to the unfolding drama. The telegram crackled with urgency, each word a sharp note of distress.
"Stradivarius stolen. Need your help desperately."
It was signed simply Elena Trevelyan. Even in the terse message one could sense the reputation of the sender. Elena Trevelyan, the celebrated violinist.
"A Stradivarius, Watson, a king among violins. Its disappearance is bound to create quite a stir."
He began to pace, his mind already piecing together the puzzle.
"A theft of this caliber, it speaks of a certain audacity, a knowledge of the instrument's value, certainly, but also a brazen disregard for its significance."
I knew better than to interrupt his deductions. I settled into my chair, drawing comfort from the familiar scent of pipe tobacco and the faint sounds of the London streets below. Outside, the fog deepened, mirroring the growing mystery within 221B. The theft of a priceless violin, the desperation in Miss Trevelyan's plea. It was a symphony of intrigue, and we, Watson and Holmes, were about to conduct the investigation. Elena Trevelyan's Kensington residence was as grand as her reputation. The house seemed to hold its breath, shrouded in an unsettling stillness. Miss Trevelyan, a vision of elegance and despair, greeted us in the music room. Her eyes, reflecting the soft glow of the fireplace, held a haunted look.
"Mr. Holmes, thank you for coming."
She gestured to a velvet-lined case resting on a table. It lay open, empty. The Stradivarius was gone.
"It was here just this morning. I was practicing for my concert. When I returned, it was gone."
As she spoke, I studied her. There was a fragility beneath her composed exterior. Holmes, ever observant, noted her distress.
"Rest assured, Miss Trevelyan, we shall do everything to recover your instrument."
He moved around the room, his gaze sweeping every corner. The game was afoot and the stakes were high. The music room was a testament to Miss Trevelyan's passion. Sheet music littered the piano. A metronome sat silent, its rhythmic heart temporarily stilled. Holmes, a whirlwind of focused energy, examined everything. Fingerprints on the piano, footprints on the plush carpet. Nothing escaped his keen eye. Lucy the maid, a nervous girl with eyes that darted about, answered our questions.
I had been out running errands, returned to find the music room door locked. I saw no one enter or leave the house.
Her story, though shaky, held a ring of truth. However, Holmes produced a small tarnished key he had found on the floor.
"And this, Miss Lucy, would this happen to be yours?"
The blood drained from Lucy's face. She stammered, unable to meet Holmes's gaze.
It was the key to the back garden gate. I use it sometimes to slip out for a smoke, but I swear I hadn't been near the music room.
Holmes listened, his expression unreadable. Was she lying, or was she just a pawn in a larger game? The missing Stradivarius, the locked room, the maid's key. Each piece was a note in a melody of intrigue, and we were far from hearing the final chord. The investigation led us deeper into the world of music. Our inquiries brought us to the doorstep of Professor Ambrose, a renowned music instructor, and as fate would have it, a former mentor to Miss Trevelyan. There was a rivalry, it seemed, whispered in hushed tones in the hallowed halls of the London music scene. Ambrose, a man whose age had done little to diminish his sharp gaze and sharper tongue, greeted us with ill-concealed annoyance.
"Miss Trevelyan's instrument is missing," he scoffed, his voice laced with disdain. "Hardly a matter for Scotland Yard, wouldn't you agree?"
He denied any involvement, of course. His alibi, though flimsy, checked out. Yet something about his demeanor, the flicker of envy in his eyes, left Holmes unconvinced.
Professor Ambrose, you were once Miss Trevelyan's mentor. You are familiar with her instrument, its value.
He let the sentence hang in the air, heavy with implication. The professor stiffened.
"Are you suggesting I had something to do with this?"
He spat, his face turning crimson. Holmes merely smiled, a slow, predatory curl of his lips.
We are simply exploring every possibility, Professor,
he said, his voice laced with quiet menace. We returned to Baker Street, a palpable tension thickening the air. The fog outside seemed to have seeped into our very beings, mirroring the growing uncertainty. Holmes, however, remained an island of calm amidst the storm. He paced the length of our room, his mind a whirlwind of deduction. Then, just as suddenly, he stopped.
The key, Watson, it holds the answer.
He was right. He examined it again, holding it up to the light. The tarnished metal glinted, revealing a minute inscription. It was the mark of a local pawnbroker. Armed with this newfound knowledge, we ventured into the fog-choked streets of London. The pawnbroker, a nervous man with shifty eyes, readily identified the key. He had indeed taken a violin as collateral for a loan. The violin, of course, was Miss Trevelyan's Stradivarius. Relief washed over me, but Holmes remained unconvinced.
This is too easy. The thief wanted us to find the violin.
He was right. The case was far from closed. It had just taken a most unexpected turn.
The recovery of the Stradivarius, rather than closing the case, had blown it wide open. It was a red herring, a carefully orchestrated misdirection. But to what end?
Holmes, his mind working at a feverish pace, sifted through the evidence.
The thief wanted us to find the violin, but why? What were they truly after?
Then a seemingly insignificant detail caught his eye, a smudged ink stain on the pawn ticket.
Invisible ink, Watson.
He declared, his eyes gleaming with excitement. He treated the ticket with a chemical solution. Slowly, faintly, a message emerged, a single word scrawled in a spidery hand. Conductor.
The conductor. It seems we are not dealing with a mere thief, my dear Watson. This is a virtuoso of crime.
He paced the room, piecing together this new puzzle.
The theft was too elaborate, too precise. The pawnbroker, a mere pawn himself, someone orchestrated this entire affair, someone who wanted us to find the violin, to lead us down a carefully constructed path. The question is, Watson, where does this path lead?
The upcoming concert loomed. Elena Trevelyan, her Stradivarius safely back in her possession, was determined to perform. It was a testament to her spirit, her refusal to be cowed by the threat that lingered unseen in the shadows. But Holmes knew that the concert, with its packed audience and electric atmosphere, would be the perfect stage for the conductor to make their final move. Holmes, ever the strategist, saw this as an opportunity. He devised a plan, a symphony of deception of his own.
The concert hall buzzed with anticipation. The elite of London society, dressed in their finery, took their seats. The air crackled with expectation.
But beneath the surface of glamour and refinement, an intricate web of intrigue was being spun. Unbeknownst to the unsuspecting audience, tonight the real drama would unfold not on stage, but behind the velvet curtains of the theatre. The concert began. Elena Trevelyan, her Stradivarius singing beneath her touch, held the audience captive. The music swelled, a torrent of emotion that reverberated through the hall. But my gaze, like Holmes's, was not solely on the virtuoso on the stage. We watched, our eyes scanning the faces in the crowd, searching for the slightest tell, the subtle shift in demeanor that would betray our quarry. Then, just as the final notes of the concerto faded, a figure rose from the audience. It was Professor Ambrose. He moved towards the stage, his face a mask of anguish.
Stop. This concert is a sham. The Stradivarius she plays is a fake.
A collective gasp rippled through the stunned audience. Chaos erupted, but Holmes had anticipated this. He moved with the speed of a striking cobra, intercepting Ambrose before he could reach the stage. He whispered something in the professor's ear. Ambrose's eyes widened in recognition. He had been a pawn, a mere instrument in the conductor's symphony of deceit.
And the real conductor? It was none other than Elena Trevelyan's own manager, a man who had been by her side unnoticed throughout the entire ordeal. His motive was simple, if twisted, to sabotage her career, to make her reliant on him, to control her talent for his own gain.
As the police led the manager away and the concert hall emptied, an eerie silence descended. The fog outside had finally infiltrated the grand hall, leaving a chill in its wake. Elena Trevelyan, her face a mixture of relief and betrayal, approached Holmes. "Thank you, Mr. Holmes. I don't know what I would have done." We left the concert hall and stepped out into the night. The fog seemed less oppressive now, as if the resolution of the case had cleared more than just a criminal conspiracy.
Intriguing, wouldn't you say, Watson? A case of ambition, envy, and the intoxicating allure of fame.
I nodded, lost in thought. If you enjoyed this mystery, subscribe to English Academy for more captivating stories and lessons.